Chapter 5, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Let's do this. You guys ready to see this? Because this is the first time that the panel has seen it. I know it, but the guys don't. And we, going into this, had talked about this being probably a divisive chapter. Let's see if that that prediction was correct. Let's go to the rankings. There it is. Our official ranking is as follows. At number 1, it's Chapter 4, Dawn of a New Era. At number 2, it is Chapter 2, A New Journey Begins. At number 3, it is Fall of a Hero. That's Chapter 1. And at number 4, it is this chapter right here, Chapter 5, Blood in the Water. And then at number 6, it is Chapter 3, Deeper into Darkness. Let's find out how we got here. Let's go on over to the Dragoon King, who ranked it at number 1.
Wiley's face when that... We knew it was going to be divisive, but I don't know, man. This divisive, seeing it made it's the 4th chapter of our overall ranking. Oh, boy.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Okay, listen, Dan knows I had been really struggling. This was going to be 1 or 2 in my personal ranking. I love both of these chapters, but what sold me on this one being my number 1 is that I'll be straight up. It's probably my second most replayed chapter. I don't know why either. That's why we're here to discuss, because I'm even confused as to how it got this high. But I told Dan, I'm like, objectively, I think 4 is better, but my heart's telling me that I like 5 more. And I'm here to tell you guys why.
That's
awesome. We got to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah, we got to figure this out. I'm not sure what's going on with the video tiles, but that's okay. We're going to scroll on over to where did Excalibur rank it? And Excalibur ranks it at number 4. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so it's not the worst chapter, right? I think we can all agree that the mine is that rock bottom chapter. We'll start in with the puns early this time. But yeah,
it's funny because that was all right.
But yeah, so basically for me, it just it didn't have enough content to really compare to the other chapters. A little bit short. The content that it did have was great. No complaints there. We'll get into that. We'll have a little bit of fun with that. But it just kind of was on the shorter side. And as I was thinking about it, I sort of weigh it against every chapter and individually and just kind of think, okay, where do I put it next to this? So on down the line. And I ended up, putting the first chapter above it, and that kind of solidified it in the order. So
this was a toss-up between Fall of a Hero and Blood in the Water. Not for your last place. Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Now, we will take this on over to me, and I ranked it in last. All right, Joe.
Holy crap! What a smorgasbord.
This is wild, yo. This is it lives up to it being the most divisive, y'all. It definitely lived up to it. Yeah. All right. So listen, there's 2 ways to review this chapter. Okay. There's 2 ways to review any chapter in Rebirth, for that matter. You can look at it as a standalone experience. And Rebirth is the standalone experience, and the original game doesn't exist. But then there's the lens of looking at it through it's a remake of the original game. Now, this is where it fumbled for me. It fumbled the ball on actually both accounts. I tried to find unbiased, let me look at it as this is a standalone experience. And for me, it's all action, 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 action. And what do we lose? We lose the tension. That is what the original game brought. And I feel like, man, this is such a missed opportunity here. We lost that terrifying tension, that anxiety that Jenova brought us in the original game is gone. It's more of like an action hero, Cloud's running to save the day, saving everybody on the ship. I think the teen rating damages the story of Final Fantasy VII. I said this about Remake, and I think here it is again. This is the first massacre that we've gotten in this game. And, you know, we go back to the blood trails in Remake, and that was the purple ooze thing. And now for this one, I did appreciate that they did give us that that fear of seeing all of this, the semen. They're just... Why you gotta make me laugh, man? I think we see
dirty sailor.
We see them all, you know, they're all dying. But you know, I appreciate seeing that. I appreciate like seeing that there is something to be afraid of. I like seeing the horrifying imagery of the monsters taking over the robes and all that other stuff. But we missed an opportunity here to take a paradise at sea and turn it into a nightmare at sea. Turning it into a horror game for this chapter would have been perfect. It is close quarters. It is, you're stranded. There's nowhere to run. Nobody can hear you scream. And all that other stuff, I feel like could have been a perfect change of pace for the entire game. Imagine sneaking through the corridors and just seeing the bodies and something's wrong. Anyways, that is my generalized thoughts on this chapter, and that's why I rank it so low, because I feel like this trend of taking moments and just adding action, just inject it with action. That's what the people want. Give them to it. I think that is going to be a trend as we keep going forward through the chapter by chapter stuff. And like it also would have tied in with the theme. To have this nightmare experience, and then you come face to face with the nightmare construct. You know what I mean? Like you come face to face with Genova at the end of this, and this is, I don't want to sound too harsh here, okay? But Genova isn't even in the passenger seat anymore, y'all. She's in the back seat of Sephiroth's van. Yeah, right. This is like, Genova isn't scary to me. Now, that could be. It's just the fact that it was all action-based and action hero rather than like making Genova the terrifying threat that she should be. All right, y'all. That's where I land with the with this as my number 5. So yeah, there we go. Let's get into the recap of this chapter. This one is brought to us by Trophy Gamers. I grabbed this. This is the gameplay walkthrough from Trophy Gamers. Go check them out. All right, so we're going to start this off with a nice look at this paradise on the ocean. We got this, you know, it's beautiful. We get to see Wall Market's Andrea Rodea and Madam M return. So really cool to see Midgar's trio, well, duo, missing Chocobo Sam here, aboard this ship. I like how we're bringing even NPCs that didn't, that you think were one and done in Remake. They're back. Cool. We also see this mysterious pink-haired girl, and she's brought to our attention by running into Madam M. Very rude. Very rude, dude.
I'm sure she won't be relevant later.
Yeah, yeah. There was no reason for that. Madam M, she talks about how the air is a little different here, and it's a little too sharp for my taste. What do you guys think she means by that, other than like maybe it's just, hey, the Midgar air is polluted as hail and now we have beautiful crisp air, but maybe it's too sharp for Madam M. Do you get anything else out of that or no?
I feel like at surface value it kind of just speaks for itself. They're used to a worse quality air.
Yeah.
I guess the wider implication here is I wonder just how frequent they travel out of Midgar, because there's a dialogue with her later if you play her, I think in the card game, where she says that the opportunities in Midgar aren't as plentiful. So that suggests to me that they're probably not used to traveling outside of Midgar all that frequently. So perhaps just being on the boat, smelling the fresh salty air is just very different for her. I mean, that's sort of my takeaway on it, at least.
Now, this is an interesting one here, because Tifa asks Aerith if she ever saw that Faz guy again.
Yeah.
She says, sometimes I think I do, and then I freeze up. Now, remember how I mentioned back in a previous episode how I was hung up on this child voice that was in the end that is clearly Red 13? So on my first playthrough, I was like, oh, they're talking about that dude. This is Faz. Faz is the kid that was in that room, that child voice. This was my play. It brought back the memory of me thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, so they're building up to this. They're building up to whoever she was talking to, the kid from the live stream or something. But no, this is apparently it picks up, and this is coming from our final fan over in the survey. Thank you, Foreskin King, for writing in. The conversation Tifa and Aerith have at the beginning of the chapter picks up from a conversation they are having about Aerith's past and traces of two pasts. It's a great subtle nod for those who have read the book, which reinforces how close the two friends have become. Thank you for that, Foreskin King. So I didn't bring up the exact quote or whatever, but I remember this is exactly where the book ends, like up to the continuity of Traces of Two Past, where Aerith and Tifa are kind of swapping stories about their childhood. Faz is a character from that that I think was like in love with Aerith's mom, and when they were in the research lab. I can't remember exactly, something about like he confessed that love to her or wanted her to stay or something, and like she was like, no, I can't, and she left. That's when she took Aerith, and they left to go to the slums. Anyways, that's Faz. But I think that was something along those lines, but I might be misremembering that. If you're in chat and you've read the book, let me know. Do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Cool name drop. Sorry, Wiley, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, all I was going to add is that he was the one that like moved her from her wheelchair to her bed, gave her the injections for her pain, all that kind of stuff. So he was like really involved with her care, especially in terms of like managing just how difficult it was for her. Like he experienced that firsthand. She couldn't walk, the level of pain, all that kind of stuff. So
okay. Do we think Faz is dead? Because if she's like, sometimes I think I do. So it's like, is that Faz, like, is Aerith seeing Faz from the live stream? I don't know if that's actually relevant or it matters, but maybe she's seeing Faz because she's connected.
That could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that, yeah, because I mean, obviously he would have tried to throw Shinra off the scent, so yeah. Maybe he died.
Well, enough about all that, because let's talk about something serious. Let's talk business.
Business.
Let's talk business.
There's something ironic about the ladies talking business behind shipping containers, if you know what I'm saying. Like that's all I have to say on the topic. I ain't trying to.
That's funny.
Waves.
That's funny.
I'm not trying to get shipwrecked in the comments.
That's really good, actually. That's good. I never made that connection. That's good.
They say boys.
Yeah.
But boys, I feel like is an interesting, like obviously we know, yeah, it's girl talk. They're talking about boys, but they're both kind of pining for the same guy. So who's the S in the boys here?
Or she's talked about Zach. Did she bring up Zach in the Traces of Two Past? Who were they talking about?
I don't recall.
I don't remember that.
I don't recall Zach being mentioned, so I want to say no, but I could be very wrong on that. If he was, I don't think it was that it wasn't that focused on. I don't think so.
Okay, I feel like future memories are going to show me that I think Tifa is on the inside knowledge.
Well, yeah, I think based off what we know later,
they obviously talk boys, all right? Because this is they're best of friends, So they're gonna talk business. So which also implies that they've kind of talked about it before, which is kind of cool. Like if you go back to Calm In when the camera cuts away, that's probably what they were kind of discussing about. Like she was like, "We are roommates, I know you guys, had a little fight or something." So interesting, because I also think, they're talking about Cloud, right? And maybe some other people.
Maybe Barrett. No.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey. That is hilarious, man. The shipping containers. That is fantastic. But guess who's
This
here?
whole fan base is a shipping
Speak of the
container.
devil. It's Cloud. He's here. He shows up.
Oh,
He
it's
should have
the
been.
boy.
He should have been quieter. He should have been quieter and snuck up and like, what do you guys say? What do you say? What do you say? Yeah, missed opportunity there, Cloud. It's me, the boy.
The boy.
It's me, the boy. All right.
Yo, it's business.
It's the boys. We're here right now. All right. We're the business. The business has arrived, and business is good.
We're taking a business trip to
We-
go see the girls.
So, yo, real quick, how do you guys feel about them ditching the uniforms right away? This was a change up from the original. Didn't
Listen, no, because this falls into something that when the card tournament starts, we could touch on this more.
Oh,
but
yeah.
he gives his government name to the receptionist at the card tournament thing. Shinra's Most Wanted walked up to a guy working for Shinra on the Shinra 8, hosting a Shinra funded card tournament. It said, "Yeah, I'm Shinra's Most Wanted."
Right. Cloud strikes.
So him taking off the uniform. I mean, if he's gonna do that shit, like, what's taking off the uniform?
I suppose you're right.
Like, initially I was kind of taken back by it. I'm like, yeah, it is a little weird that they're all getting out of their clothes. But then I think Jackie quoted me from Jackie's journal on that part where he says his name. Cloud gives government name to sign up for tournament, and she quoted me saying, "What a doofus." So this is just like, yeah, like
doofus.
I think if like we could split hairs here. It's like, yeah, they're taking off their uniforms. They're supposed to be undercover, but clearly they're not that concerned. they're not remaining that low key.
That's funny. Barrett shares his 2 cents on the Rufus deal here, so nothing ever good came from making deals with the devil. Shinra cannot be trusted. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week. We were wondering, would Barrett even want to take the deal? And future memories of the past, flashbacks, we're going to find out the reason why Barrett doesn't trust a single thing that Shinra says, especially when it comes to making deals. So he says it's probably for the best. Now, whether or not Rufus actually meant what he said or not, Barrett was very, very skeptical anyways. So we can just get right on into the Queen's Blood tournament. We're gonna make our way up. We get to sign in. Everybody in the party is going to be part of this Queen's Blood tournament. We got a little friendly competitive banter between Aerith and Tifa and Cloud. We got the pink-haired girl who taunts Cloud, and Red, who is trying to join, but they say no animals allowed, man. But they let a robot play, but they won't let an animal play.
Yeah, wait, I didn't even think about that. What the hell?
I love how when he's not allowed to enter, he goes from not caring to full Karen when he says, "I want to speak to your manager."
Dude. Yeah, he said, "I'm here just to study human leisure activities."
Right.
Hair red.
That's what I want to speak to your manager.
Oh my god.
That is great. So, all right, the reason why I started this off with saying I'm Captain Foreshadow is because, man, is Captain Titov dropping some foreshadowing when he's announcing this tourney. Before I get to that point, when you go over and you talk to Barrett, this is the last time I'm going to air this grievance, okay? Barrett says, "Tell me I don't look good. You look like a bear wearing a marshmallow." Why aren't we saying that? Why didn't we say it?
Yeah, okay. I know they fumbled that, but I'm just getting a kick out of the fact that for the guy who hates Shinra, he loves wearing a uniform that has 2 Shinra freaking badges right on it.
So I got a little developer fact for you. I haven't brought this up since I don't know, chapter 3 or something like that. But in the Ultimania, one of the developers was talking about considering to have the patches removed because of how much Barrett hates Shinra, but decided to grin and bear it.
That's good. You threw it and it stuck to the Wallace.
Nice. I love how, like, whenever a dad joke is thrown out there, the Dragoon King will always follow it up with one more. Just one more to tack on. The little tack on dad joke. I love it.
We appreciate that.
We do appreciate that.
Thank you. I have to make up. I'm not a dad, so it's like I'm fighting amongst the actual thing here. I got to throw my little 1-2s in there.
What does that make you? Uncle joke, or what is that? I don't know.
Yeah. What uncle joke? The estranged online friend joke. Like, what about to your kids? That guy my dad talks to on occasion.
All right, so one of the main critiques about this, one of the main criticisms, and even when I put mine at number 5, I think I saw some people in chat saying, like, hey, you don't have to do it. And you thought that maybe I ranked it at number 5 because of the tournament. And that's not true. I actually love Queen's Blood, and I would have taken an entire chapter of playing Queen's Blood.
That's why I like it.
In fact, that was kind of a redeeming quality of this chapter that I really, really loved. I love the front half of this chapter, for sure. So, anyways, you can actually skip it. So, whenever somebody tells you that, oh, chapter 5 sucks because you're forced to play Queen's Blood, hey, only once against Red. You don't have to do the tourney if you don't want to. You can just kind of go over and forfeit. Of course, that means if you take the forfeit route, that means Regina will go all the way to the end, and she's battling. Who's she battling? I can't remember. She's battling somebody else. She wins it all, and Cloud is just a bystander. And then we get Red 13's entrance, which we'll get to in just a second, and it's still going to be Red 13 versus Cloud. So that is the only match you're forced to play, is that Red 13 versus Cloud. And then that's when you're going to fall in love with Queen's Blood and wish you'd been playing it all this time. But I think it's great. I think that's perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with this chapter. If you don't like Queen's Blood, just forfeit.
I like that there's an option.
Exactly.
Like, I think that was really cool that they gave the option. I mean, granted, that's going to knock an already short chapter down pretty damn low on the playtime. But, hey, it's like, if you're bad at it, or if you maybe not even necessarily bad, but you just don't like it, here. Just, you only got to do it once. And even then, if you really wanted to forfeit and just throw in the towel, just keep skipping your turn until Red absolutely destroys you. So you really don't have to play it.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even see what Red would have said if he beat me. But right.
I did every single match.
What happens if Red beats you?
All the characters.
Awesome. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So if Red beats you, Titov still gives Cloud the trophy, and Cloud's like, no, he earned this, and he gives it to Red. Because basically, Red can't participate because Red didn't enter because Red's not a human. So he wasn't officially entered into the tournament. So yeah.
Oh, that's really cool that Cloud gives it to Red anyway.
Yep, it is a sweet moment.
Yeah,
why didn't Regina get it? I guess if you I guess it depends on you. Wait, so I'm curious now because I don't know how many variables you did. If you skip the tournament and then lose to Red, does Regina get it? I wonder, because I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
That's interesting.
I almost want to. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'll be.
Go do some research. Beat that real quick and research it up, and then come back. All right, so now
I gotta check that.
Here's where the Captain Foreshadow comes in, y'all. Captain Foreshadow. He goes, Tifa is on the verge of victory. Can she bring it home? Now, that's not really too much of a foreshadow. That's a little teaser, a little appetizer for you. Bring it home. I don't know. We've been talking about this for a while, where Tifa and home and everything. Now, Aerith is in trouble. Will she survive? Whoa now. Cloud's opponent better watch out. He's hungry like the wolf for victory. A wolf being the symbol for Cloud, especially in Advent Children. But will she survive? I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I love if you play against Aerith. She's talking trash, and she goes, "I'm gonna bury you." A bit ironic. Since,
all right, your funeral though,
dude. On my end of the notes, where the hell is it? I made such a funny note about that. Yeah, really, Cloud. What the hell are you saying that for? I mean, he doesn't know better. What does he know?
Well, no, she says I'm going to bury you.
Well, no, but he says your funeral, and then excuse my terrible handwriting, but there's your funeral, and then and then Cloud just. That was
nice
my note on. Thank you. That was my note on your funeral.
And then Captain Foreshadow says, Regina has her opponent wrapped around her little finger. A nod that she is, in fact, Genova? Get it? Because you're a puppet. She's the puppeteer. Do you get what I did there? You see that? Because? Did you see what I did there?
Because.
You guys get it? Because that's the only time that Genova ever talked in the original game, and then she spelled it wrong. Remember?
Oh my god. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because
you're a puppet.
I never heard it out loud.
Because I don't know.
I'm like, what the hell is
that's how Genova says it. That's how Genova says it.
I thought you were making like a bay joke, like a body of water.
You know what I'm saying about Genova, y'all? Like, y'all know what I'm trying to say? Wait till we see her later.
Like, is that a double entendre? Because it's like we're in the bay and Tifa's bay, and like I wasn't sure where you were going.
Man,
we
know Genova is bay, bro. We know Genova.
Yeah, that's true.
She's the puppeteer, right? She's the puppeteer, wrapped around her little finger. Isn't that cool? Now, Rowan writes in with a survey question. Did Red turning up in the Shinra uniform surprise you? I thought it had been omitted. Did you guys? So I kind of skipped ahead quite a bit. Sorry about that. I didn't like. We're all the way to the point where Red entrance.
We skipped like the entire tournament for this question.
Yeah. My bad. You guys go ahead with the tournament question, and we'll come back to that one.
Okay.
You got the notes right, Excalibur.
Yes. All right. So if you beat Barrett, he hums the game over theme.
Yeah, I saw that from your post.
Did you catch that? Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
Let's see if I can bring it up. You go ahead.
Now, did you also see? So there's just a bunch of little things that I took note of. For example, at one point, Barrett's standing on the side looking out over the waves. And he says, "Daddy's gonna make you proud, honey." And he's like, Marlene, I caught that.
Oh, he's always thinking about it. Yeah, he's always thinking about his little girl.
Yep.
I love that. Okay, wait, here's Barrett humming the tune for people listening. All right, you guys didn't hear it, but the audience did. Go ahead.
Nice. Yeah, it was just there's people doing like monster yoga on the deck, and you could basically join in with Cloud, and he'll do different poses and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's see. We've also got, when you talk to the receptionist, a friendly specter left a note for Cloud about Queen's Blood. So that's a question for you guys. Who could that be?
Oh my god.
Is it dipping into future memories, or
it is a little? It is a little bit, but
because that's a whole other loaded thing.
Game, though, like with what we know right now, how did that question hit you guys, or did it just sort of go right over your head the first time?
I feel like it was just. Sorry, what did you say, Dan?
No, I was going to say it went over my head. I think I didn't really like. It kind of was like store it in the back of my mind for later type thing. You know, I was like, I have no idea what to do with this information. We'll figure it out later. At this point, Queen's Blood has been so freaking entertaining, which I loved it anyway. Everybody's over the top. Of course, there would be a Spectre who. Of course, there's going to be a storyline here that I can't wait to find out. So go ahead.
The only thing I remember is that I didn't think it was Regina, but I for some reason picked up on the fact that she was pretty integral to the Queen's Blood thing specifically. I mean, I know obviously she bumps into Madame M and it's like, oh hey, we're doing a tournament, but yeah, I wasn't I don't know. I don't know if I thought on it too deep. I sort of just take the information as it comes and then process it later. Yeah. So, but I mean, unless you lay something really juicy on the table and I need to figure it out, I'm just gonna spend all my time dissecting it. But that was one of those things where I figured I'll find out. They'll tell me. They're not just throwing this out there for me to decipher. Like I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, honestly, the first time I heard that, I was just kind of like, huh. Like, I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, like Major Trenton nailed it. Major Trenton said, too busy playing cards to care about this Spectre. I don't know what you're saying. Right.
Ooh, hey, man, it's all
about drawing blood. He says
Broden is an interesting guest. Like that, imagine because he's the one that introduces you to Queen's Blood.
Yeah.
So if you were playing it initially, I didn't have that connection to Broden, but that would have been imagine he ended up being the final boss you take on in Queen's Blood. That'd be kind of cool. Honestly, that'd pretty cool.
Twist. Yeah. I think one thing I really enjoyed about the tournament in general is that you could play against Aerith, Barrett, and Tifa on the cruise. So we may not have gotten to pick the vessel, but we still got to pick our ship.
Oh,
there's another. Sorry, man. With all these Queen Blood players everywhere, it feels like everyone has cards. You might say it's all hands on deck.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my lord!
That's wonderful.
I did want to. What was I about to say? Okay, who did you guys pick? Initially, of those three, because that's round 2. Who did you guys play on your first playthrough? Do you remember? I feel like we all picked the same person, but I don't know if we did.
On the very first playthrough?
Yes.
I think I just ran down to the deck and I challenged the robot. Like, I just thought that was...
Oh, okay. I was talking about round 2 since we were talking
round
about
2. My bad. God, who did I pick? I think I picked... I can't remember. Because I remember talking to both of them.
Oh, we all picked a different person, and if you did pick Aerith, I thought we all picked Tifa.
I might have picked Aerith. I might have picked Aerith. Yeah, I think I picked Aerith. Yeah, because
like
here was my mindset going into this. I wanted to spend as much time as I could with Aerith.
Interesting.
Because I was like, I kind of know what's going to happen to you. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I want to point out, I guess now, because we actually got over this point initially. When you talk to them when you're signing up for the tournament, and Red's being a Karen, as we were saying before, and Barrett's just like, man, I'm gonna kick your ass, and then he goes thinking about Marlene. When you talk to the girls, where was it? Where did I write this, or where did Jackie write this? Okay, so I got it. So basically, Tifa and Cloud, I don't know if maybe I'm just interpreting this in my own way, but their conversation, it's very rivalry focused. It feels like they're like poking prod. It almost feels flirty with the undertones. And I don't know if this is, and not to go into the future memory shit with the dates and whatnot, but I feel like this game. And I guess now's a good point to introduce this, because this is going to be a short chapter anyway, so I don't want to dip into too much future stuff, but I feel like this game almost takes a stance more with Cloud and Aerith, because when he was talking to her, I don't know if I was just viewing it this way, but he almost felt very dismissive and rude to her.
Talking to Aerith?
Yes, before they start the tournament.
You mean when he says your funeral?
No.
You're gonna die. You mean when he said?
So usually I have the exact quotes written down, but I don't, and I don't think the gameplay did talk to them both again. But when he's talking with Tifa, they're both kind of just first of all, they do their little fist bump and they're talking, and the conversation more or less is just them kind of having a friendly rivalry. You're like, oh, you think you're gonna beat me? I'm gonna beat you, and they're like, oh, we'll see. With Aerith, she says something to the effect of, oh, one of us could win the tournament, and he goes, yeah, right. Yeah, right. He just totally shoots down any hope that they had about winning the tournament, and she's just like, oh, come on. To me, it was weird. Yeah, it was just weird. I would have thought that they would have been more balanced with their approaches, kind of just perhaps friendly rivalry, maybe a little bit of flirtiness in both ways.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't pick that up. I didn't pick that. I feel it still feels. I
felt like it was extremely pessimistic. Like compared to what he talks about with Tifa, they're like, oh, fist bump. Like, okay, yeah, may the best player win. Oh, you think we're gonna win this shit? Like, hell nah. Like that was the two different tones I was getting from the conversation with Tifa and the conversation with Aerith, and I just thought it was strange. And then later with the your funeral stuff.
That one, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You're gonna really wish you'd never said that, man. Like,
dude, first time players, it must have been like, or like people who just played this, not knowing the story, like, wow, what a cute little, like, oh, your funeral, haha. Then they get to the end of the game.
All right.
I thought I was reading too deep into that, but to me, it just seemed weird. It just felt like it was a weirdly pessimistic thing for him to say to her. And I feel like it's not the first time he's acted like that in this game around her.
She goes, she laughed a little bit.
I think she laughed. I don't know.
What else you got for me, Excalibro?
Let's see here. Okay, so when you play Andrea Rodea, he says he won't make Cloud dance again unless he loses. So I had to lose to see what he would say, and he's like, you better start stretching.
Oh, that's great. Funny.
Yeah. That was a good time. Oh, man, Madam M, here we go.
Oh yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she hits him with, we shared an intimate moment, and he's all looking at his hands like, you're pretty hard to forget.
Yeah.
And then during play, she says, healthy competition always gets the blood flowing. And then she says, they've got you wrapped around my little finger.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. Like,
what's up, Madam M?
Bro, she trying to man the bilge pump, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I even made a note about her in my thing about you specifically, Wiley. And like, yeah, she's giving Wiley a run for the wordplay.
Bro, she was, man. Yeah, her hand jokes definitely rubbed me the right way. I mean, she might be handsy, but Cloud is handsome. She was a handful, but fortunately, I had the hand to beat. Like, I'm handy with puns, but hopefully I didn't go overboard.
Is that a ship pun at the
that
end
was
there?
So many. That was so many. I'm clipping that. That was that. Wow, what an onslaught! What an onslaught, man.
Hey, when she wins, she says something about Cloud's victory hit all the right spots for her, bro. Like, she's a pistol, and if you catch my Ace Ventura joke, her gun was digging into my head.
Keep it going.
All right, I'm gonna let it go.
Big deck energy right there, dude. Big deck energy.
Wait, feel like a nice healthy pivot. Did you guys make Cloud walk over to the yoga instructor?
Well, I think it was brought up that he'll do yoga, right?
Yeah, it's so stupid. I got a question for you guys. Do you think there's I sometimes we as fans, and I'm throwing all of us in here because I've seen our previous podcasts and how long we can talk.
This is gonna be a short one.
Sometimes I know this one's gonna be very short, but we 5 hours later, of course, we find out. No, but anyway, so I feel like with Cloud, sometimes there are just things that he does, and I see him do it, and I'm like, why the hell did they make him do that? And I wonder if it's just the developers having fun putting him in weird situations, and I'm just not supposed to think too deep on it.
Yeah.
But the thought of Cloud walking over to the yoga instructor and just...
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
Is it really just a why? And sometimes I think that's nice. Like, you don't have to think too deep on it. It's just funny. It's just funny because it's so not him.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is him, like underneath. You know what I mean? Maybe it is him underneath. Yeah. And then you have like in the Nibelheim flashback in chapter 1, you can walk over and do the Zangen stuff.
Yeah.
Like he'll go over and do that stuff too. And, oh yeah, yeah. It's like I feel like maybe deep down that is Cloud. You know, we'll see in part 3. We'll see in part 3 when the real Cloud shows up.
I hope we get an unapologetic yoga scene.
Oh man, of course.
just like, all right, gang.
The question from last week was like, when are we gonna get that honeybee in parade style minigame again? He's just gonna bust out in a full on number.
Hell yeah.
He's gonna get Northern Crater and just be like, dance off, bro. Dance off, bro. That's gonna change up. That's gonna be the change that nobody expected. Subverting expectations, man.
That's a strange thing. Is that like I think it's hysterical and I love it, but at the same time, when it comes to him like dancing in remake, that's so like regardless of what version it is of Cloud, I feel like he shouldn't be good at dancing. So the fact that he is just really bizarre. Mm-hmm. Maybe he was just practicing in the mirror, like when he was a kid.
He's like, I'm gonna need these moves one day. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's that Genova mimicry. That's what it is.
Toolman says it's a full on musical for part 3.
Just the whole thing.
Oh, but they gotta get gacked at that point, don't they? God.
Final Fantasy VII Requiem.
God dang it. Yeah, Requiem. Hey, that's a song.
Reconcerto. Yeah.
Song for the dead, huh? Mm-hmm. But it's not going to be called Requiem. All right,
it's not.
I said this. I said in a previous video. This is Revival.
I saw.
Revival.
I know. All right, you're making a stance.
I would like to talk about my previous video for just a second, because I have an addition to add on to that. So, in that video, I went through all the locations that we might be able to explore underwater, and then I did my full-on analysis of this chapter after I made the video, after it was already published and stuff, and I found out that Captain T-Talv's father is important to the underwater region that I was talking about. So Captain T-Talv is looking, he became a captain to search and recover his father's ship. Which means we're probably going to find it at the bottom of the ocean for him. It might even be a side quest. And then like this answers the question from who answered this question? Okay, Astro Zach from the survey said, "Do you guys think Captain T-Talv will make an appearance in part 3?" Hojo laughed at him and told him to mark his body for identification. We'll get there in a second. Cloud and crew saved the day. So I could see T-Talv repaying the favor. Maybe he plays a helping hand in some way to return to Junon, or helps us travel to certain places using the cruise ship. Now, this is where, to answer your question, Astro Zach, I think he's going to have a side quest. He's going to be still looking for his father's ship. We have a submarine. We got you, Captain T-Talv. We're going to find your ship for you. Add that to my underwater exploration. It's going to be much bigger than you think. Anyways, that's what she said.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I said, and then no, I don't know. Oh, yeah. It's going to be much
bigger. That's what I said.
I think that's what I said. I don't know.
She didn't say that.
She didn't say it.
That's
no.
what I said.
That's okay, Dan. I like your energy, bro.
Yeah, big deck energy, man.
Or
just energy. You just covered the thanks, man. Yeah.
I like energy.
I like you're just your energy, man. All right, so that was going off track there. We're going to come back around to let's get to the point, man. Let's get to the point we've all been waiting for. This is when Red 13 makes his appearance, and it was wonderful, wasn't it?
Oh, man. So Red has moves like Howling Moon, Crescent Claw, and the OG he has Lunar High. Mm-hmm. He can't even stand, but he can moonwalk. Talk about one small step, baby. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he does come out here moonwalking too. This was so Rowan asked in the survey, did Red turning up in the Shinra uniform surprise you? I thought it had been omitted. And honestly, I'm kind of there with you. Now, I can't remember.
Yep. Really?
Wait,
real quick. You both thought that was going to get omitted?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, did they show this in the trailers or anything like that? They showed Red 13 wearing this outfit?
I don't recall.
Because I felt like
I stopped watching trailers.
Yeah, because I felt like I was into
too.
it, man, and I was watching all the trailers and stuff, and I had a feeling like I was like, wait, he shows up in this outfit, and when he said, hey, ditch the uniforms, I'm like, what? Something's not adding up. I know that Red 13 shows up. It's got to. It's such an iconic moment. And so I could see how Rowan thought that maybe it would be omitted, and I love how brilliantly Square Enix, the devs, they purposely held back on having Red disguise himself in the previous chapter, and then even fans of the OG are like, oh man, what? Come on, what's going on here? And then this entrance happens, and it's amazing. He comes out. He freaking does his moonwalk. He said, a little flamboyance, maintain the illusion, and oh man, look at it, and then stumbling with the two legs.
Also, I just want to point out this is something I noticed later when they're all walking back to the quarters. He's taller than Tifa on his hind legs. He's actually considerably taller. And what I wanted to point out is that he definitely used Cloud's uniform. If he had to use one comparable to his body, and I think it's hysterical that he ripped a hole through the ass so that he could fit his tail. Because I remember seeing that initially, what if he needed that again? What if they needed that to get off the ship? We know they don't. But I imagine Cloud's got to walk around with a fucking huge ripped ass infantryman because Red just wanted to play cards.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that didn't even occur to me.
Dude, yeah, it's a huge asshole, and that wasn't unintentional.
Whoa!
Anyway,
the pieces are coming together.
This is my best music, by the way.
Best music.
Yeah,
best music being this is what was it called? Overfang, right?
Overfang.
Yes,
yeah.
Overfang. Now, I when I listen to this song, I have to listen to it with two legs, nothing to it right before, because the beat drop is insane. At the end of the song, I love the beat drop, so I listen to the two together. Also, and I talked to you about this a bit, Wiley, and Dan, I wish I sent you a clip of this, but this song is a reference to a real life song.
Oh.
Yes, it is by a group. I can't remember. I don't want to say if it's J-pop or K-pop. I can't remember. I believe it's J. So, but called Perfume, and the name of the song is Game. And if you were to just listen to the first few seconds, it's very clearly the same. So yeah, I showed this to Wiley privately when we were talking, and I don't want you to get copyright struck, but if you looked up Game by Perfume and played the first few seconds, it's literally the same start, and even the lyrics of the song too. The "We'll play the game" is I think it's almost taken from that song, but just audio distorted.
Huh.
And I don't know who at Square Enix is a fan of Perfume, but it was a very weird moment for me because I was familiar with that song because I liked that song. And suddenly I'm hearing it in Final Fantasy. And I was like, what the hell is happening right now?
Interesting.
And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why it's a reference. It's not even one of their most popular songs. It's just a song that they made. But maybe Nobuo is a big Perfume fan, and because he's one of the people who made the song.
Interesting.
And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. So yeah, when you guys have a moment, that whether you tune out a stream or something, look up "Game" by Perfume, and you will see that Overfang is very heavily inspired by that song.
Yeah, it is spot on.
Good find.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only reason I found it is because I knew the song. I genuinely was really taken off guard by how similar it was. So, by the way, actually, that's a good passcode for the shout out. I'm dropping the passcode here.
There we go.
So, yeah. So, comment Perfume. We're going to shout. Oh! Oh, my God! Yo, it's the Chocobo Calorie! Holy crap! You got the charge! First time seeing that, by the way. So shout out to everybody who left the passcode. If you want to be in on the Chocobo Cavalry, hop in there. And so comment perfume. That's your passcode now. So if you want to join the next week's shout out, that was awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. The Chocobo Cavalry. That's great. Dude, I loved your reaction.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see it before. So, passcode perfume. Leave a comment with that, and you can join the Chocobo Cavalry next week.
You'll be part of the herd that just runs across the screen in the middle of the show. All right, so you beat Red 13, and Red 13, I like the little exchange here. I love that Excalibro filled us in on what happens if we actually lose that battle. So I mean, like, this is really cool because it's kind of like boosting Red 13, even if you make him lose, still boosting his self-esteem, which I think has been his character, like him having that self-esteem issues, or the what did we call it? Insecurities. Thank you. Like in the previous chapters, and we're still building him back up, and like this is just being like, yo, how did you learn that? I studied human behavior, and then I had to learn the rules and apply what I learned, and it was really cool. So even if you beat Red,
was he sitting on his own deck? Was he like? Did he have a? Did everybody here have a deck of cards?
Yep. Well, they said there's some for rent if you don't.
I know that. Yeah. Tifa and Aerith are on the line for the deck receptionist, so I interpret that as them buying it. But interestingly, Barrett and Red aren't online for that. So I don't know if that's like just a subtle thing or if it's just something I'm reading into because I love doing that. But it was just funny to me because they got you got your whole party here. Mm-hmm. And I mean, who's to say that Red didn't throw on the uniform and buy a deck of cards when he came back? Yeah, why not?
That's the kind of DLC I was really hoping for, honestly, is I really wanted to just let me play the party again. Like, give me more Queen's Blood games that I'll turn Rebirth on just to play the party again, Like, let me face off against some people I didn't get a chance to. Give me Sid. But again, this will be, I'm sure the high wind will have more
I'm
Queen's
hoping
Blood.
that they do that. Like, it would have been cool if throughout the game we could just play the party. Yeah. That would have been really cool, especially for Red, since it's clear that he's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
If you guys could just take each other on in like subsequent chapters. Like, you hanging at the haunted hotel and Red's like, hey, you want to have a match? It's like, sure.
Yeah, and I really love, and that's one of the highlights of this chapter. And honestly, man, I did have a tough time. Like, I know this is ranked at number 5, but I had a tough time bouncing back and forth between, would I want to play this chapter again, or would I want to play the Mithril Mines, Deeper into Darkness? And I'm like, I just couldn't figure it out, man. And to be honest with you, I was super wavering on that, but it was the whole thing I said at the top of the show. But yeah, I mean, like, I love being able to play. What, man?
Sorry, Lee.
I'm just laughing because you're wavering on. Should it be at the bottom or second to last?
And you're wavering on the.
I'm wavering on. Man, is this my favorite? Or my second favorite?
I almost ran into a tree on the way home. I shouldn't be looking at my phone while I drive, but like you sent me your rankings and I had to like double check, and I went. I'm like, oh my god, he ranked at number 1.
Dude, it's such a toss-up. 4 is so good, but I don't know, man. It's just sometimes. Listen, I can talk about 4 for much longer than I could talk about 5, but I think this is honestly just the vibes of the chapter just resonate with me more. Yeah. I've gone back and played this chapter multiple times. I enjoy it on hard mode. It's fun because it's not always a cakewalk depending on the deck you use. I like all the variety and who I can play against.
Yeah. Oh man, I actually didn't play this on hard mode this time around for the analysis.
So on hard mode, they do play much more challenging. Is it the hardest thing in the world? Not necessarily. It depends on the deck you use, honestly. I try to use a relatively balanced deck, but I think it's I don't know, to me, it's just a lot of fun. I like going back. I've also, you guys know, I like to stream to some of my friends. So this is always the chapter. The friends who don't care about the story and they're just like, let me just watch you play something. This is always a go-to chapter for me. Like, I just throw it on. It's because it's so fun. Yeah. It's goofy. And then it ends. I know that we're probably going to have differing opinions on some things later, but it does end with combat. We can agree on that.
Yeah.
So you can, it's fun to show off a lot of the different aspects, but,
so like, yeah, I mean, speaking of that, like speaking of that, like this being the first half of the chapter, even optional at that point, like we could have already been done with this analysis if we skipped the tournament. So the tournament, you skip that and you make this chapter maybe 30 minutes. It's really not that long of a chapter. So just keep that in mind. But it's one of my favorite parts of this chapter was the Queen's Blood tournament, playing against the party. I can't wait to go and play it on. I feel like I did play it on hard mode, but either way, I didn't do it for this analysis. So now we're gonna get on to you beat Red 13. Cloud gets the trophy.
Wait, one thing.
Okay.
Because I don't think anybody did this, and this made me laugh. Like, it actually made me laugh out loud. When you go up against Regina, you can still walk to the receptionist that lets you drop out of the tournament. And I didn't drop out. Like, I went back. I just wanted to see if it was even possible, because it would be really funny to me if you could just walk. It's like everybody's like hyping you up to go up.
You just mic drop and you're out.
Could you just drop? Now, if I had more time, I would have played to see that outcome. Like, I would have redone it for that.
The developers had to think of that too. Like
they had to, or they didn't even think to block it off.
What happens? Yeah, what happens if these stupid idiots go forfeit on the freaking championship round? We got to program that now.
So I did it. I walked up. I didn't do the forfeit, but I said no to actually forfeiting, but I just wanted to see what the dialogue was, and it made me laugh because I go up and the receptionist is just totally like flabbergasted.
You're not thinking about quitting, are you?
More or less, she's like, you can't be serious about quitting now. She's like, she even says, watching you play brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, damn, these
got all the flair and the cloud.
Dude, that one receptionist, the receptionist you have to check in with every time you complete a round, and he's just donning more and more cloud stuff. Killed me too. The reception, like you win round 1, and he's like, "Oh, congrats!" Round 2, he has like a cloud tattoo sticker, temporary one. Then he's got like all the cloud, and then at the very end, because when I walked to receptionist desk, I was like, "Wait, he's not here." Where is my biggest fan? He's jumping next to Tifa. He's like, oh yeah, rooting for me to win.
That's great.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. I didn't think it would even be possible. I tried to walk the opposite way when they want you to walk up the stairs to Regina. I was like, I'm gonna go the other way. See if I could just take the lame staircase with no. They won't let you do that, but they will let you quit the tournament at the final. So
that's great, dude. Yeah. Thanks for that. I didn't know about that. That's great. So we're gonna go and we'll just go ahead and get all the way to the part where Barrett sleeps through some alarms, right? So the alarms are going off, and now we're getting into it. This is a big change up from the original on how this all goes down. We don't even see Heidegger. We don't even see Rufus. Whereas in the original, they were aboard the ship here. And anyway, so Cloud jumps up. He's ready to go. Guess that's us when they say all military personnel. All military personnel. Report.
He says to Red.
Guess that's us.
Who's not military personnel?
I guess that's us since you're awake.
Yeah, that's kind of, dude. Also, this song that plays not on the soundtrack. I'm gonna say another reason why I put this chapter highly. I think it's just back-to-back music.
Oh, beautiful. Mm-hmm.
All the music in this chapter is really good. There's never really a point where I feel like it dips in quality. Every song I've really liked, and it's a shame because this chapter's rendition of the main theme that you hear at the beginning is not on it's not on the soundtrack, and neither is this creepy music. And I tried so hard to find this one because I really liked this music because it set the tone pretty good. It suddenly felt like I was waking up into a horror movie when the alarm's going off and Titov is like, sounded pretty serious, and it's all creep. I loved this track. But as far as I get now, if somebody has a link, if you want to drop it in the comments on the VOD, if you can find this.
I'm playing.
Yeah, no, but if you could find this.
So there was this really, like, I would almost want to re-edit. I wonder if I could re-edit this chapter, right? Like, I'm going to take out the hurry up music and then put this music in. And then just kind of like, if we can get that, if this was the scary music that I was talking about, and just having a whole different tone here, this is what I'm talking about. Like that music right there, like where it's like, it's got that crazy bit. It feels eerie. It feels tension is there. And then we turn it into an action hero. But like, see, this is where it kind of falls off for me. Whereas like, I think we're off to a good start with the music and everything's there's panic. We got the civilians are aboard this ship, which wasn't in the original game. There's civilians, which adds another level of like, oh my god, this is going to be so crazy. This is going to be a nightmare because now we have civilians. We don't even see one civilian get harmed. But so yeah, we don't see any civilians get harmed. But it's like this music would be perfect to keep this going throughout the entire thing. If you can give me blood trails. If not, that's okay. Make it very, very creepy here with that mute. Like, oh my god,
yeah, dude, it was so good. I got like chills when I heard that.
Yes,
I had my 3D audio like headset on, and I really heard it the first time I played it. Not this time, but when I remember this track was a standout to me. It sounds like something almost out of like Perfect Blue or The Thing. Or some sort of John Carpenter kind of like music piece. Like,
thing in there.
Yeah, we got to throw a thing in there. But one of my favorite movies. Same with Perfect Blue. But anyway, it sounds like that. It just was super unsettling, and I loved it. And I agree that I wish they kept that tension longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it goes quickly. Goes to the. And then we're just going and we're just doing an action hero as we just go save everybody on the ship. Yeah, so like here we go. I'll let it play. So yeah, okay, New Shinra asks, what's up, Mo? Okay, so go ahead.
Give me a freeze frame when we get a close up of Titov, because I really need to do a comparison of the stashes here.
Yeah.
I mean, you went through all the work, bro. We gotta appreciate this.
Oh snap! Hold on, I gotta go back a little bit. So, all right. Oh, East Blue, you joined in. There we go. Listen, I tried to.
Oh yeah.
I even tried to get the little sideburns there. I tried to get. The
you got them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I like making it dance. Ready? It's like a little caterpillar on my mouth. Well, let's see if I can get it to go. Like almost like a little worm. Like it's interesting. All right, I really wanted the captain's hat, but I didn't get it.
Damn. Man,
Captain Titov.
Nice Titov, bro. Nice Titov.
Thanks, man.
Nice
Titov, bro. Look, I got the chops. I didn't do just one side, you know. So, the new Shinra asks, and we're going to get to it in just a second. But it's going to talk about the robe figures here. Because Aerith and Red stay on the deck as Cloud saves a crew member, pursues monsters back to meet up with Tifa. Titov went to go get more firepower. Cloud and Tifa see monsters merge with two robes, creating a scarier monster. So, new Shinra asks in the survey, which you can fill out as well. Be on the lookout of that if you're a subscriber to Final Fan TV. If you're not, do it now, and you'll have a little notification, hopefully, that pops up, little alert message I worked hard on, so do that. And then you will also see that I put up the chapter surveys about, I don't know, like on Sunday, about like Saturday or Sunday every week. The chapter 5 and then chapter 6 will be up probably this weekend. So fill out those surveys like New Shinra did. New Shinra says, we first see the robed figures merge with monsters. This is, in my opinion, a reference to Crisis Core and Dr. Hollander's Genova experiments, specifically Angeal, as we see him merge with monsters in Crisis Core when he fights Zack. and a reference to Genesis, we are monsters. Also, within the when the roadmen speak, they eerily sound like the Borg from S/T. What am I missing here? And then puts into mind of hive mind and collective. You guys get that? What's Borg from S?
Borg,
Star Trek?
yeah.
Oh, my bad. So
Trek,
we have the mind of a hive mind and collective here. Yeah, Genova is the hive mind, right? Like that Genova is in control of this. So
this is the most vocal the robes get. Yeah. Also, I wanted to point that out. I feel like they talk more in this chapter than, which I thought was cool.
So there they are merging there. So yeah, we're gonna get to the one. I got some juicy stuff at the end of this. Maybe some juice. I don't know. Might be some juice. Give you guys some juice. All right. We'll get to the end of it because we're gonna see Hojo watching some cinematic surveillance. I mean, where are we getting that? Where are we getting that surveillance footage, man? We got great angles here. He's just watching it like, wow, this is good. I can't. I'm so happy I put that little freaking surveillance killer in one of these grates, looking up, so we can.
Broke the camera.
He broke the camera. He's got that. He's got that mod, man. He's got that camera.
I don't even want to know where else he has cameras, bro. Like, those got cameras everywhere.
Look at this guy. He's got some great cinematic evidence.
Okay, I'm sorry. Why is it every time we get at least one Resident Evil freaking reference in one of these damn streams?
Yes,
every time
because you need to bring up the stars hat every time.
Yeah, every time I'm wearing
look at
the
this.
damn thing.
See, look at this camera angle. Like, dude, he's even got pan and zooms. Come on.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Good stuff.
That's the drone camera moving in.
Now he says something that I think is just so freaking funny. Yo, Hojo the real villain, y'all. This is brutal, man. He goes, ensure it all proceeds without interruptions. Oh, and do be sure to mark your body for identification. Oh, man.
Savage, bro.
Do you think?
He does not care.
I wonder if T-Top, to play into your submarine, maybe he's going to join the sub crew because he's tired of Shinra's bullet. After this, I would have such a distaste for Shinra. Like, on the real, I mean, we're joking about it because it's funny, but at the same time, if you're looking at it from T-Top's perspective, he calls Shinra.
Yeah.
Shinra says, okay, this falls under this guy's jurisdiction. So he talks to him and he's like, what do we do? And the guy's just like, oh, well, like, hopefully you die and, like, I can use you later.
Right.
Well, we see that Titov doesn't, like, follow this.
No, he doesn't listen. No, he doesn't. I know.
He's already disobeyed a direct order from a superior. So
yeah,
he might already be on our side. And, like, this is part 3 is just going to be us taking a bunch of Shinra employees, aren't we?
I think it would be cool, like, just if Rebirth brings back a lot of these people we've met along the way and implements them into different areas. Like, we're gonna get Titov on the sub, 7th Infantry on the sub, maybe. Who knows?
You know why, right? You know why? Because a good man who serves a great evil is not without sin. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying? He must. What does he say? He must accept his complicity or complicit. I don't know. Anyways, he must get out of there, and he will. Thank you, Barrett, for that amazing quote. I'll remember it correctly one day. I got the first part right. I could have just stopped. I could have just stopped, but I kept going. I think it's a great quote. It's an amazing quote.
To take a water break.
One of my favorite quotes from Remake. I usually get it. I usually nail
sure
it.
Sounds like it.
I usually nail it, man. This doesn't happen all the time. This doesn't happen. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
So, suddenly you're feeling the pressure. You're like, oh god, there's a live audience.
Ah! Oh man.
I was gonna make another energy joke, but
you got what I mean. You picked up what I was putting down. All right, y'all. Now. Let's get into some juicy stuff here, y'all. Let's get into the real meat of this. So we're gonna go through this again. It's just where this could have been very, very scary. Imagine lights out right now. Imagine the freaking lights out. Imagine you got that music that was playing when you wake up, and then you got the freaking like screams of the guy. Oh my god! they're merging with the monsters. Oh god, they're merging. And then like you just have that, you don't even know where they are. It's just dark. You got lights flashing all over the place. It is scary as hell. We got these freaking neurotic entities coming around here. Could have been something special. What did I say? I said neurotic.
He said neurotic. It's okay.
Erotic too. They're a little erotic entities. They're neurotic. They're necrotic. They're everything. Necrotic. They're all the erotics.
All the above.
Yeah, all of them.
I don't know if they're all of them.
Yeah, they're all of them, man. They're all of them. Anyways, so you got. It could have been something special, all right? Stop.
I'm starting to understand from your perspective why you rated this a 5, because I feel like you wanted.
I wanted something different, and I don't know if that's fair. I don't know if that's fair.
No,
but
see, that's weird. That because I'm thinking about this now, and I still like this chapter a lot. Bounce between this being second or first, and so I see a lot of what you're saying. I don't think where this chapter ended was bad. Like obviously,
I like
it should have a lot of action. I think you could have thrown a lot more between the card tournament and when we have to start fighting the neurotic, erotic, necrotic enemies. Threw a bar in there real quick. No, but anyway.
Whoa, dropping. Man,
remix.
This kid's spitting, y'all.
But no, like I think you're right on that. But it's hard for me to say because I enjoyed this section. Yeah. I did enjoy what they presented. But I totally agree. I mean, I love horror. Horror is like one of my favorite genres and things just in general. I mean, shit, I play Outlast Trials like religiously. So like I'm big on the horror stuff.
And I'm not like just bringing this up out of thin air. I'm not like just bringing this up like, oh, this could have been a really cool thing. I'm pulling from the original. Like the original had a very scary atmosphere. Yeah. There was even blood trails everywhere. It was very, very terrifying in the original. And you would want to see that recreated. That's where I'm coming from. I wanted to see that moment recreated, and this is not the only time that this is going to happen. Like future memories, this is not the only time that we're going to get a moment that should have been terrifying and like tension and anxiety and like, oh crap, this is real, gets turned into an action sequence. It's going to happen again.
I think I'm going to. I have an opinion.
Is it a thought or is it an opinion, man?
I have opinions. This guy over here, what direction are you? Over here? You have thoughts or whatever the quote is. Anyway, so I have an opinion.
You got an opinion.
Somebody said this earlier. I wish I could say who it was in the live chat, but somebody pointed out that this game sometimes suffers from pacing, like regarding letting scenes breathe. And I agree with that. I think sometimes this game doesn't let itself like it's hard to say this because I think this game shines in so many ways. But I think when it comes to exploring certain tones that it sets, it sometimes just jumps the gun and moves on a little too quick. And I think that that's what we're seeing here. Because the later half of this chapter, the tone is really good. I was so captivated. I'm like, okay, something's wrong. You feel it. And we're talking about it, and I agree with you. I think that it moves on too quick. But, you know, it sucks because I think that they did have something, but at the same time, I'm not complaining with what we had. I enjoyed fighting these enemies. I enjoyed this whole chapter in its entirety. Yeah. But now you're talking about the idea. Number one. Yeah, they're my number one. But you're talking about these possibilities, and I do agree. And I think it's not because you said before you don't know if there's too much expectation out of that.
Yeah.
Combining with or comparing it to the original. And then on top of that, we're dealing with the shortest chapter in the game, arguably. I mean, it's definitely the shortest if you skip the tournament. And even with the tournament, it's pretty damn short. So they definitely could have thrown in some more, they could have played into that horror that they really set up. The creepy elements, let the music play out longer. Show how much more distressing the scene is, especially after we just saw Hojo basically forfeit the lives of everybody on this ship. Now imagine seeing that and then seeing the repercussions of that before we're thrusted into combat. You're looking at Shinra said, okay, no, it's, we're not getting involved on this. You have a ship out at sea. There's nothing that they can do. You're stranded here. I think the idea of this chapter is one of my favorites because of that. The idea that we're looking at, wow, I was cooking. Dan left. Dan left. He only does that if he doesn't need to interject. But so anyway,
you stopped cooking. I had to come back. What's going on?
Oh, shit. Fuck. No, but anyway, so I think that the promise that this chapter, not the promise because it didn't promise me anything, but the tone that this chapter sets up, I would agree it doesn't fully deliver in a way that I would have liked. But I don't know. I like playing it, and I think about this chapter. It just reminds me like of a horror movie in the later half, and I just really like it. So,
yeah. All right, y'all. So thank you for all of that, and I'm gonna go over to Matt from the survey. Hold on, maybe I'm getting too ahead of myself. Yeah, because I'm about to get into some juice. I'm about to get into it. All right, so let's go. Let's catch up. We're going into the engine room here. We got Barrett trying to defend, trying to keep these robes alive, right? And Titov kills them. He nearly kills Yuffie. And I already answered Astro Zach's question about if you think we were going to get him again. Now, the time has come. The reunion. And you guys talked about this. This is the most talkative that these robes have been. The time has come. The reunion. And then Sephiroth shows up, and he says something very important. He talks about how Jenova can take the appearance of those you hate and those you love. Now, with future memories in mind, this setup is extremely interesting, and we will revisit this later. But for now, we can use it to say that it can confuse Cloud, because it's watering the seeds of doubt that was already planted within Cloud's mind about Tifa. But, and here's where I come in with this, I don't think this is Sephiroth speaking. Same. Matt asks, why does Sephiroth try to kill the party using Jenova Emergent if he needs Cloud for his plan? Sometimes he helps the party, like Chapter 2, and other times he tries to defeat you, like this chapter. Please, can you clarify the situation? I think that this is Jenova speaking, not Sephiroth. And look at that.
Yep.
Did you see that overlay?
Yep.
That overlay is definitely Jenova talking through Sephiroth. This is the only time that I've recognized we see Sephiroth, and it's not part of Sephiroth's plan. This is like Jenova emerging. This is her emergence into the physical realm. Now she's able to talk. And just like in the original game when she says, Bayo cuz, you're a puppet. And she can't, she didn't know it. She didn't find that on the internet. She asked AI, and AI misspelled because for her, and it sucked. But she says, because you're a puppet. Now, at the end of this battle, that's when I want to ask you, was that Sephiroth? Or was it still Jenova? Was Sephiroth telling Cloud not to be fooled by Jenova? When he says, don't let her fool you. Or was it Jenova and or Sephiroth telling Cloud not to be fooled by Tifa? Continuing that thing. Because if it was Sephiroth telling Cloud not to be fooled by Jenova, that's interesting.
So I think it's the second one. I think it is Jenova. Okay. I think the Sephiroth warning about Jenova is sort of a meta commentary, the way that there's layers to some of these things where you can sort of read into that there's more than one thing happening. But so if you compare this to the OG, right, at this point, it is Jenova manifesting through a combination of a robe figure and a piece of Genova's body, which we see in this scene. And there's even a cut right in here somewhere where they cut to Remake, where they show Marco from Remake, which was also Genova, right? And so it's implying that this is basically the OG events here. This is not the new Sephiroth. This is the OG stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, we can't forget that Genova has this ability. Like she used it in the original. So like this is the first time that I've noticed, at least, Genova actually making an appearance. Like through Sephiroth clones or Sephiroth robed figures or whatever. Usually it's Sephiroth fully in control.
Yeah. And it's really funny that if it is Genova, like, you know, taking on Sephiroth, she uses this opportunity to just set herself up with a WWE-esque like intro. She's just like, and her name is Genova. Genova shows up for the first time, really, that we truly see. And what does she do? She's like, "Get awesome, dude!"
That's awesome.
Oh man!
I wrote in my notes. I'm like,
and her name is Genova.
I put this Sephiroth in quotes because I wasn't sure. I was of the same thought.
She plays her entrance music too. Yeah, let's go. Comes out like Jeff Hardy.
Dude, I just thought it was so funny that, you know, of course, like, hey. Yeah, I wrote in quotes Sephiroth just casually hyping up and lore dumping Genova. Like,
I got more to add on to this. Got to support it to say that this is in fact Genova, not Sephiroth, and all that other stuff. So we've merged with the robe figures. We got Genova appearing and talking for the first time through Sephiroth's voice. And then here's another one. I got two different things. Let's talk about this one first. Hear me out now. Did this battle even happen? Or did Cloud enter a trance and just straight up murder these freaking robe dudes? Because Tifa approaches Cloud very cautiously. Cloud? I mean, we just got finished fighting. It's almost like the way that Tifa approaches Cloud here is weird. Like, she's just, Cloud? Because he doesn't do anything right now. There was nothing that happens after the fight. Like, the fight ends, Sephiroth appears, and then, like, don't let her fool you, and then disappears. It could be Tifa approaching and be like, Cloud, you're not letting that get under your skin, are you? Like, you're still cool, right? That could be the case. Because she's like, listen, I know we had
Did she hear that?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, I don't know if I see what you're saying. Like, did he do the whole fight? Did he imagine the whole fight? Or was that whole fight?
And then
not imagine, but dealt with it mentally. And then, yeah.
And watch. Because, like, when he steps, and even Barrett's like, what the dude, you all right? And then I'm no fool. And he's like, what? And then he looks over at Tifa, like, and then look at that walk. That's a familiar walk from future memories.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Little details there.
And then lastly, I just want to check this out. In the background, over here, dissolving into red. Future memories of red miasma, almost as if it's not part of this world. Instead of dissolving into the green life stream that we're used to seeing, these are glowing red. They're glowing red, which also brings another association with the Gi, Genova being associated with the Gi in some way, or just this is how things that are not part of this world, like this is how aliens dissolve. They don't go into the life stream. They just they have to exist like in the afterlife as a red miasma. There it is, and it's you can see them glowing back there. So
they're almost like welling up.
So, and then of course the trophy is called Cryptic Cameo. The two definitions of the word can be applied here. One meaning like the mysterious or obscure. And then the zoology term of this serves to camouflage an animal. And Genova was using the robes and Queen's Blood player Regina as a camo aboard this ship. So, the Cryptic Cameo as Genova makes a cameo here in this chapter. So this was a Genova-centric chapter, in my opinion, and I don't think Sephiroth really was even aboard like the ship. So there you go. I love that. You got me with that. And her name is Genova.
Dude, and her name is Genova. Like, it was so. And it's funny because I wasn't sure either if it was Sephiroth or Genova. And no matter who it is, it's a funny thing to do regardless. But it seems more fitting for Sephiroth to do. But if it's Genova doing it for herself, that's just really funny. She's just yeah, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use Sephiroth to tell you that.
So I think it just adds like this whole layer to it of like, if it is Sephiroth and Genova working together like Excalibur is like, I think it's that option. But if that was Sephiroth kind of appearing and then saying, don't let her fool you. What? That's interesting. But that could just mean that would actually have like some crazy implication that Sephiroth and Genova are at odds in their objective. But
now, wait.
Yeah.
Now I'm comparing that to that scene.
No,
in chapter
I'm thinking.
2.
I'm thinking about it. Hold on. I'm thinking about future memories right now. Sephiroth and Genova are 100% on the same page. So forget what disregard.
Okay.
Disregard.
Because I was about to say in chapter 2, we kind of get the first inkling of Genova. Because when we see Sephiroth at the bottom of the stairs at the end when he's going to talk to Tifa, if I recall, we see the Genova grainy flash effect there.
Yeah.
When he's initially pitching the idea that Tifa's not who she is.
I'm thinking about quick future memory just so I can like say, hey, invalid. My theory on that is invalid already. To pull from a future memory when we are in the Temple of the Ancients, I believe, is when Sephiroth comes down. It says the reunion of the worlds will be made whole, and my mother Genova will be made whole, or something whole again. So that was like his objective is to make mother whole again. Yeah.
Who's to say that Sephiroth wasn't the one that said that, but was just going with the idea of it being Tifa, like saying it about Tifa? Because you're saying it's either Sephiroth saying it about Genova or Genova saying that about Tifa.
Don't let her.
What if it was just Sephiroth saying it? He's just like double teaming to screw with Cloud.
Yeah. He does smile.
Like,
he does smile. He goes, "Don't let her fool you, Cloud."
Like it could just be Sephiroth at the end throwing in his own. Yeah. He's like, I wasn't here for this fight, but I'll throw in a punch.
Hey man, what I miss? But don't be an idiot. I got him. Got him, and then he just flies.
Wait, what do you mean, my mom?
What do you mean?
Monday Night Raw? What do you mean she?
I wish
she dropped the sick ass intro.
I would like to talk about that intro though, because
it was cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
It was just kind of funny, and like it's one of those. That's why I call it Square Enix moment, where it's equally cool, but also equally just like.
Do you think when his pupils dilate like that? Like, is that when he's going into the trance? Like, is that what we're supposed to get out of that?
Ooh.
But yeah, here we go. They say she's a monster.
Right there.
The lights
There's
are
Marco
flying.
from Remake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, Marco was there from Remake. Nice. Let's go back.
That's the end of Remake.
Oh, never mind. I thought you said aboard the ship. I'm like, man,
no,
he's resilient.
It's a cut.
He's resilient, man. He ain't gonna let that fall.
He's gonna need his own intro.
Get by with scraped knees off of that.
Introducing.
Introducing Marco. It's the freaking Hardy Boys.
Dropping in from the heavens.
Yeah, dropping off the Titantron.
Off the top rope. Falling at least 3 feet.
At least 3 feet fall from that top of that.
Falling at least 3 feet. It's Marco.
I like how Sephiroth's almost caressing it on his cheek there. Because this is Genova thinking, like she's touching herself.
Hold on. Somebody clip that.
This is Genova, man. She's touching herself right there. She's like, ooh, it feels good to feel my skin again, because she's like, this is an illusion, but this is real right here. This is real. Man. And then, all right, here we go. And then look at this. It's time for the Warrior of Hypes. Get hype! Moment right freaking Nope, never mind. Sorry, a little premature. Let's hold it back in. Hold it back. Hold it in. We can do it. We can make it through. Hold on. It's the mid-fight cutscene. It's mid-fight, y'all. It happens. Here it comes. Get ready. Hold.
I'm trying to get hype.
There it is. Come on, y'all. Get hype. This part, right? Come on, man.
Oh, man.
Oh.
So what's interesting about this?
Here comes
MJ Gallagher pointed this out. So it's Jenova's arm that's used to manifest this, and look at all the hands and arms in the form.
Yeah,
and it's all really and like I bet if you total up all the robe figures that she collected, maybe it might be all their arms. I don't know.
That's a lot of arms, bro.
That is a lot of arms.
We got to do a camera break on this.
I mean, T-Tolf did shoot a lot of robe. Like I feel like if you totaled them all up, it might add up. Chat, you go on that. You do that, not me.
Let us know, chat.
All right, chat, here's your homework.
Yeah, there you go.
Comment perfume and count the hands and compare it
as if there weren't enough hand jokes already.
But this
Madam M would have a field day with Jenova emerging.
Oh man, forget about it.
She'd be in business for days,
of course.
Man. Yo, that session's gonna cost a lot.
At least 2,000.
At least $2,000 times
at
like
least.
all of these hands. Now check this out right here. This is my get hype because I just thought this enemy design, right there, man. It is so good. I stopped and I took a picture of that. Of course, I don't have it because I'm never prepared. But this was the, I say I'm never prepared, but I spend like hours and hours every day doing this stuff, preparing for this. Anyways, this scene, so freaking hype because the Jenova, like, design is incredible.
Yeah.
I will say it one more time. You couple this terrifying boss. Like, this is the scariest freaking boss that we have seen yet in Final Fantasy VII, the remake trilogy. Like, this has got to be the scariest. That is terrifying. And then you couple that with what I said earlier about, hey, make this a straight up horror game chapter. This would have been the culmination. This would have been the cherry on top. You know what I mean?
And hiding in like a utility closet and seeing that.
Dude, oh my god, like stalking? Oh god, that's even more terrifying. But like, no, like this character design, they cooked. That East Blue Drew, they really cooked on Jenova's design here. This is why it's my get hype. I debated. Again, I know, get hype moment, I have to explain, is just a singular moment. And this moment of Jenova just rubbing her face on the freaking ground. And then she did popping out a bunch of arms. Whereas Red 13 coming out, that could have been my get hype moment. That was very exciting. But that was more of like, get joyous. You know, like I get make joyful noise, right? This is
relatively excited.
Get excited. This is get hype. You know what I mean? This is get hype. So, anyways, that's my get hype moment, y'all. And that is probably going to bring us into the awards section of this podcast. Now, do you guys have anything else you want to say about the recap of the story before we move on to our awards?
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, why did Yuffie follow the robes into this room?
I mean, she was really maintaining.
Like, wait, no, I'm just thinking. Like, I know she's 16, and that's sometimes something you got to think about. Is that
she must have not have seen the merge, like monsters merging with the robe. Because I would have taken the robe off right away. Like, yo, you don't merge with me.
No, but what I'm getting at is that to jump back to the very beginning of this chapter, if you walk up to the room that all the robes are neatly tucked into, they threw. Actually, interesting thing, and I wanted to pose this question earlier, but I didn't because I forgot.
Yes. Here we are.
So we saw at the end of the last chapter, they were just like, "What do we do with the robes?" And then we see a conversation with Hojo between Titov and Hojo. So I guess the large, like. What I'm getting at is that they shoved all these robes into the second class room that they could, right? So what did they say exactly? Just let all the robed, because to me that suggests that they allowed them on, because initially Titov seems at the end of the previous chapter really thrown off by it, and he's just like, all right, just put him on, like, whatever. Then they're putting him in a concentrated area, and then he's talking to Hojo. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, they're definitely forcing all of them on, they're just taking Shinra orders, that's fine. But now I'm going back to the Yuffie point. She's in the room and I see that thingy, Wiley. I just want to ask this question. Yeah. I just want to ask this question, though. She's in the room screaming her head off to be let out, vomiting. You can hear her throwing up in the room.
Yeah.
But now we find her here with all the other robes. So she walked from the room in full disguise with the robes when she had the perfect opportunity to get out. Why did she do that? Why didn't she just leave the room? What's your...
Let me tell you, Lee, because she just tried to assassinate the president and a whole bunch of people saw it, so she can't blow her cover.
That's fair.
Nice.
That's fair enough.
But when they
knew it was
they
didn't mention that on the ship, by the way. I listened to some of the passenger dialogue. They mentioned that the rumors are it was a ninja from Wutai that tried to assassinate the president, and then one person was saying something like, "Oh man, I can't wait to go to Wutai." Like they want to become a ninja, and somebody else was like, "Dude, what the hell are you on about?" So, that was I thought that was a neat dialogue. He was just like, "Oh, I could be a ninja," and I'm pretty sure the person he were talking to was just like, "No, you can't."
No. We all have that one friend.
It was like, I don't remember the exact dialogue exchange.
It's not going to happen, bro. It's not going to happen.
No, that was more or less what happened there. And so it is spread. You're right about that, Wiley. It seems that even the general public is clued in that it seems to be a ninja from Wutai.
Yeah, that's a good answer there from Excalibur. There, Lone Star backs it up and said regular people just wanted to avoid getting near the robe figures. So like wearing the robe kind of a repellent anyway. Like people don't like getting around them. So, but there's no answer to why she just followed them into the engine room.
Yeah, at that point with all the chaos happening, my ass would not have gone that far. Like. Props to you for sticking to the bit. I thought the at least 3 feet joke was a commitment, but she sticks to a bit much crazier. Dude, why did she do that? She had to walk past like dead people because they break into the room and start attacking people to let the robes out. So she leaves, walks past a bunch of dying and dead people, and is still here. And only now does she decide to give up the thing when a gun's pressed to her head, which fair enough. If I was at risk of getting shot, I'd probably stop too.
She goes, screw this, man. Oh my god. And look, like Titov almost shot her.
And now that Titov's probably pissed at Hojo, he's probably not even concerned at all about the fact that he's got a wanted assassin on his shit. He's probably pissed as hell at Shinra. Yeah. If I was him, I'd be defecting.
I think he will, and he's going to join us on the sub.
He's more concerned about the safety of his ship. Probably
maybe he's the one that helps us with the sub. I mean,
I'm thinking.
Hey, I know just because you're a captain of a cruise doesn't mean you can pilot a submarine, but still, that's.
But you take what you can get.
Yeah, I mean.
hey Dan. While we got this pause, can I get you to go? Okay. Just line up with that pose there. Yeah. Pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Captain Titov, the man. We'll see him again. All right, let's go on to our awards section. Now, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab this so that way we can have a nice, there we go. And we're going to go over to the awards. And I'm going to get rid of that, that, and then paste that, put this down here. Chat disappeared, sorry about that. All right,
chat.
So let's take a look at the awards here. So for our accolades, we have best music, best battle, best side quest, best rebirth, best birth, and get hype moment. Now, just to recap, best music, I said Genova Emergence. The Excalibur said the Prodigious Pedigree From that's when you're fighting Regina, correct?
Regina,
when you're battling Regina.
The combination of the piano and the violin, bro, is a banger.
Yeah, it's a good.
And you can like hear those undertones of like, oh, something's eerie about this person. And then the Dragoon King has Red 13, Queen's Blood, Overfang. So look at that. That goes against what somebody said in the survey. I think it was, I won't call it out, but like, I don't know who it was, but somebody in the survey said everybody's going to choose the Genova Emergence theme, so I'm going to go ahead and say the cruise edit of the theme. And Complex, that's who it was. Complex, awesome to see you again. Complex has been watching Final Fantasy TV for like since the beginning. So Complex, thank you for that, because let me tell you, man, that cruise edit of the main theme was a contender. It was a contender. I almost had it, but Genova Emergent, I listen to Genova Emergence like all the time.
I listen to Overfang all the time. But this entire chapter is just banger after banger. I don't think there's not that any of the chapters have songs I don't like, but I think that this chapter, for me, has the most consistent, just back-to-back music, like good music that I could listen to this whole chapter. It's probably a big reason why I revisit it, is that I like the feel of this chapter, and a large I attribute a lot of that to the music that they put in it.
Yeah.
Is that a screen? I thought that was a screenshot of you and T-Top for a second.
That's my boy T-Top, man. He's my twin. That's my boy T-Top, y'all.
I got a T-Top joke for you, bro.
Okay.
How come Captain Titov never seems to mind if the front of his ship gets flooded?
Why?
Because it's water under the bridge, baby.
That's great. That's real good. That's really good. Best battle. Battle goes to... No, I love it. Best battle, I have Genova Emergent. We all have Genova Emergent. Best side quest, we all have the Queen's Blood Tournament, because it is, of course, a side quest, because it's optional. And then we have Best Rebirth, which means this is a moment from the original game that was recreated for the remake trilogy. It's unanimous among us. The red in the Trooper disguise, the whole entrance there, amazing. Best Birth, which is a brand new idea or character or whatever introduced in the FF7 trilogy. And for this one, we have the Queen's Blood Tournament. We think that was an excellent addition to this. Otherwise, would have just been a cargo ship. And that's it. But they made it a cruise ship. They put a Queen's Blood Tournament on it. That's awesome. And of course, I said my get hype moment. Now, I didn't talk this over with you guys, but I'm curious of what you think. I will say that my Queen's Blood Player of the Week is Red 13. What do you guys have for the Queen's Blood Player of the Week?
Yeah, I was going to say the mystery guy that shows up at the end. Yeah, it's Red. It was almost Chadley, though.
Whoa, now you just assume that's Red 13? That is... Come on.
Yeah, really.
That's a brilliant disguise. You can't prove that. That's good.
It was very close to being Chadley, though. I was so happy to play Chadley. But I love Chadley, so yeah, really.
Boy Wonder. Isn't that a Hercules reference there? Hercules? I
think of Boy Wonder. I think of Batman.
Boy Wonder is Robin, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I bet.
Dick Grayson.
Doesn't God, what's her name, man? What's her name? Meg. Doesn't Meg call her Boy Wonder or something? Wonder Boy. Dang it. Never mind. Scratch that. The reason why I did that, the train is rolling because I really wanted to bring in Block Sheep, who says that the main title of the quest is Poor Unfortunate Souls, which is a Little Mermaid reference. So I thought maybe I could squeeze in 2 Disney references there, but Wonder Boy is what Meg calls Hercules. So anyways, so are we in agreement that Red 13 is the Queen's Blood?
Oh yeah.
I feel like Regina will come back in later, right? We'll give Regina her time, but for this one, it's our boy. We never know. That's future memories that we don't have. Whispers took them. Damn Whispers. Damn, man. All right, y'all. That is surprisingly. I almost feel weird doing this, but I feel like we've come to the end of our... We've come to the end. I think this is the end. Now, chat.
Yeah.
I will give you guys. I mean, like I think the other day, the panel has nothing else to say. Chat.
I guess. Yeah.
You know why don't you give us some questions while you're here? All right, we're gonna take this to 2 hours flat, so you got about 6 minutes. So we'll take some questions from chat right now. You guys can ask us anything about Chapter 5 or before. Try not to dive into future memories here. Ask us anything about Chapter 5 or before, and we'll just kind of hang out with you guys for just a moment. How's that sound? That sound good? I like that. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do that. You know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Test out my alerts. And also share this thing because, man, I don't like that we're getting a fallout in viewership. You guys understand that? Please help us.
Send in a flare.
Send up a flare. You know? Oh, I do want to say thank you guys. Thank you everyone who fills out the surveys. Thank you for writing your feedback section. Has been like pretty much all positive. So Centurion says, if you don't mind me asking, do you have a Discord server? We do. And since everybody is super cool in this chat, I'm going to share that. How do I freaking do that from here? Can one of you guys hit the share or like invite over on the Discord and post that in the chat? And you guys can join the Discord. I don't keep up with it a lot. I try my best, but it's nothing like super fancy. I just like hanging out with you guys and talking. So Colin Bateman says bow wow 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 bow wow wow. You know what I mean? I went to a bow wow wow yippee yay. I went to a different song altogether. That's my fault.
Atomic Goblin.
Yeah. Sephiroth's game coming in hot with a question. Did you notice that Cloud started Chapter 1 and then Chapter 2 with a 2,000 gil referencing the money he had when he left Nibelheim? Yeah, actually, that was what Chapter 3, like we really went into that whole $2,000 thing in Chapter 3 when that was definitely an ongoing. Oh wait, he started with 2,000 gil. That's cool. Like, so the player starts with 2,000 gil. I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah, in Chapter 1. Yeah.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. Nice. Good point. I'm sorry, Sephiroth. I know you've been following along. I wasn't reading the question right. So, why is the guy with the pointy stick so handsome? Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I mean, you're not talking about. Yeah.
Who could have made such a? Sorry, I had to do something stupid. I didn't reach enough stupid for the quota today.
Lone Star says, do you think Hojo was already watching the events on the ship, or did he start watching once Titov called Shinra? He's got to be getting that feed from Titov, right? Like, because he seemed like he was like, interesting development, and then he's like, merging no less. So he seemed like he was getting that information as it was coming in, you know? I think that...
Yeah, and would Titov even feel comfortable with the ship being surveilled? Like, he seems like he...
Yo, they obviously... They got one of those drones. They got that drone surveillance where they got the camera, like, getting that cool... hold on a second, Hojo, right. I got you. Pan and zoom on that guy's face, dude. Yeah. Oh, my God, he's turning into a monster, dude.
You know what? I don't even break video.
Yeah, he's broke the camera. He's got that Otis _INF mod. He's doing it. All right, y'all. We are coming to the end of this. 2 more minutes. Ask us anything at this point. AMA, you know. I got a FF9 remake question. Thank you for that. I like that. Hey, Richard Stalls, thank you so much for the super chat. No question, but thanks for the show. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Look at that. See, look, I got the notification now. It's in the bottom left, and I'll stay up for 2 minutes. Got you, man. I got you. It takes me a while, but I'll get there. East Blue Drew says, got an FF9 remake question. Do you want it more like Rebirth or something smaller? Would you type in there? What's this? Do you want something smaller? I want Rebirth style. East Blue Drew, I believe it's going to be a more of like a classic. I think we're going to get to turn-based and everything with that. And I think Yoshi P kind of like hinted at that. He's like, I'm not in charge of it, but if I were, it's got to be turn-based. He said, I'd keep it turn-based. Everybody would be nervous that I'd make it action, but I'd keep it turn-based. And if I'm Yoshi P and I got that inside knowledge, I wouldn't just straight up call out my team like whoever. It could have been it could be a completely different team, but it's within Square Enix. And that would be like throwing some massive shade if it's like, I mean, I would keep it turn-based because that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I think it's going to be a turn-based thing. I think they should do an entire remake chain of games that use remakes combat, and they can keep the main series using new, innovative, whatever the heck they want to do for the main series. Or if they want to do like a remake series, we'll all use that combat from Final Fantasy VII Remake. That would be brilliant. I think the combat from Remake should be used for every single game from here on out. It's the best combat ever. Centurion says, did you know if you talk to the soldier at Nibelheim entrance in Chapter 1, he quotes what Zack says in the Cloud flashback cutscene in Chapter 11? Yeah, he says something about, like, girlfriend, right? Like, I know what you're talking about. Yes, Centurion, I did notice that. That's kind of cool, because it's just goes to show that was Cloud. Lone Star GA, it's a lot of surveillance beamed out of the Girls Gone Wild Shinra. All right, so it deserves because the story's so good. East Blue Drew, I agree with you, man, because I love Final Fantasy IX. I played it recently, and it was exactly what I needed at the time last year. We've hit the two hour mark, so I'm going to wrap it up. Lone Star says, I will say, I've loved how they've done the remake battle system, but I'd like to see it expanded beyond just 7. Agreed. Put it in everything. Put it in everything. It's the best combat system of all time. Now.
Fire.
Yeah, it's fire.
Firaga.
Ooh. Fire. All right, y'all. This is the end. I can't believe it. We did it in 2 hours. So next week, we will be back.
That'd be a record.
Next week, we'll be back with a 6-hour podcast because we're going over to Costa del Sol, and we're not too sure whether or not we want to make that a part 1, part 2. Do we want to make it a 2-parter? We'll have to talk it over. There's a lot to cover in Costa del Sol. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of variables to cover. The chapter itself might not be that long. Well, I'll look into it. But we want to make sure we do in-depth analysis like we did with with Chapter 4. We did a 2-parter on that one, but I think we can probably get it in with a 1-parter. We'll see what happens. But I want to say a very heartfelt thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched this live. Thank you so much. If you're watching this in the VOD and you've watched all the way to the end, good for you. Thank you so much. We're not going to give you the code word, because I don't want you to skip to the end and think you're going to get the code word and be part of the Chocobo Cavalry next week. But there it is. Thank you so much for being part of this panel. We have Excalibur. Thank you, man. Big
My pleasure, brother.
Deck energy right there with the big deck energy. And we have with the big pointy stick, the Dragoon King.
Can you run my cavalry back and my outro? I want my boys back. Give me.
Here they come. The cavalry's coming in.
Hell yeah.
Here they come.
Come on. Thank you, cavalry. Every first person who comments the new password becomes a lieutenant, by the way.
Yeah.
So if you see the lieutenants there, whoever's first to comment the password for this one, I'm not saying it now, but if you comment it first on the VOD, you get to be a lieutenant. You get promoted. So, get promoted.
Leading the Chocobo Cavalry. I love it, man. Don't forget Lieutenant Peach Booty Poppin'.
Yeah. Lieutenant, yeah, he just got promoted. If you want to be like my boy Lieutenant Peach Booty Poppin'.
Peach Booty Poppin'. Oh my god. I can't wait to see what other kind of foreskin I get in the survey, you know. I'm sorry I said that. This is going on too long, y'all.
I can't wait to see what. Holy shit, we got so much it became a 5 skin. Alright.
I'm convinced that this is the same person coming in every week with a different type. But anyways, there you go. Thank you so much for watching this video. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Bye.
I'm Captain Foreshadow. Is that what I said? Oh, don't. Oh, almost went with a different one. And this